Hey guys, my name is Brandon and welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you like what you see in here, you're more than welcome to hit the subscribe button so you stay notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, let's get straight on with today's video.
Hey everyone and welcome back to Is That More Brandon. So in today's video I'm going to be doing a review to the 16th episode of Celebrity Big Brother. So this episode came out on Thursday and obviously the final was on the Friday. So we only have 2 more reviews left. And then Big Brother is actually over for this season. So at the beginning of the episode, we obviously had come to the conclusion that we knew who our 6 finalists were. We had David, Bradley, Louis, Fern, Coulson and Nikita. And, well, this is what we thought were going to be the finalists. But Big Brother had one more game in store and one of them was actually going to be evicted before the actual final. So this is where it kind of gets a little bit intense, but I'll get to that. So Bradley said to David, another day, another sleigh. Louis said to Fern, there are lots of different people that have started their careers for being in Big Brother, with Fern saying that actually Alison Hammond is one of those, and she went out very early, but she's probably had one of the biggest careers from the show, and everyone likes her, and she's obviously progressed through her hard work. Coulson came to the diary room and explained that everyone seems to be in a good mood so far, and he kind of explained in one word what the other housemates were feeling in terms of their experience in the house. So apparently Fern was disbelieved, Louis was content, David was confident, Bradley was just Bradley, and Nikita was relieved that he obviously didn't get evicted from the house. Bradley had a chat with Fern, explaining to her that he was diagnosed with both autism and ADD when he was younger, and that his parents didn't want him to have to take any sort of tablets, so he did have therapy, and he also had a bit of a speech impairment where he was obviously stuttering, so he had both of those issues kind of looked at when he was younger. Fern said that he didn't need to try and be nice to her, and that he's incredible, and then, yeah, as a joke, just asked who's on the drying up duty, with Louis saying, I think it's my turn. And then David said, yeah, I think it might be your turn, Louis, with Coulson saying to Louis that he was actually cleaning the not clean cutlery, so he was actually cleaning the stuff that still hadn't been washed yet. Louis then turned around, swore at David and Bradley, saying, I'm glad I entertain you. And then, yeah, Bradley was having a little sing-song, singing One More Sleep, obviously by Leona Lewis, saying he loves Leona Lewis, and he asked Louis whether she was on one of his years, and he said, yeah, every year was my year, so I'll take that as a yes. Bradley said that the less people there are in the house, the more that Louis seems to be doing for people, so I guess, yeah, with having 12 other housemates, it's a bit like, you don't want to have to make 12 meals or do 12 lots of washing up, but I guess when there's 6 of them left, he's like, yeah, okay, cool, so like 5 spoons, or, you know, 4 knives and 4 forks, so, yeah, that was something that Bradley noted there. Fern came to the diary room, said that she is the one woman in the house of 5 men, but it feels okay, and she doesn't think about being a woman, she's just a person who just happens to be with other people. Bradley and Fern were doing a little spa with Nikita, David and Louis outside, so I think Bradley was with Nikita and David, they had a little boys squad, and then Louis and Fern were having their little session as well. And then Fern put oil all over Louis, with him saying he could pay her cash, and then Bradley was kind of putting serum on their face, with Bradley saying that his spa name was Angelica. Louis had a little chat with Coulson, so I guess while they were all having their spas outside, he was inside trying to cook, and he basically said to Coulson, I don't cook. And he basically just said to Coulson to watch his fingers when Louis chops, and that he's not having fun, but he will do it for the sake of the other housemates. Coulson said that for Louis and him, they were going to be making chicken with garlic butter, and whether Louis was actually happy, and Louis said, yeah, I'll be happy, but when it's finished. So that was quite a little funny piece there. David said to Fern that his name is Nicole Kidman, as his little spa character. He was massaging Fern's hands, and I think Bradley also joined in as well. And they asked her what she did in her spare time, and she said she has a fleet of haulage lorries. So, a bit random, but I guess it was all just a bit of make-believe, bit of fun outside. They were in that weird spa moment. Coulson said to Louis that he should be proud of himself, And while they were all eating dinner, Bradley just joked, saying the chicken is raw, saying I'm only joking, it's all good. And Big Brother said to Fern that she needed to practice her interview skills, so I think she had about 2 or 3 of the housemates that she was doing practice interviews with. So first up was David, and she asked him how his life was and what life was growing up for him, and he was speaking about his different family, and he's got like an older brother, and he's got someone in his family is married or just got married, and then obviously his parents' situation as well. He said that the bullying started for him when he was in year 8, and he did have an older brother who kind of, I guess, if you're in year 7 and your brother is in the final year of school, you're going to be fine, because if someone messes with you, you've got someone there. As soon as David then went into year 8, his brother obviously left school, so he's kind of now there on his own. That's when the bullies started bullying him. He also knew that there was something different about him from a very early age, and he did leave high school at 16 after the summer, told everyone he was gay, and apparently there was loads of people that already knew anyway. He also explained the situation about his parents, that he told his mum absolutely fine, and he was a little bit worried that his dad was going to find out or what his dad was going to say, so he asked her to ask Dad, and I think he basically explained that he could hear his dad like walking up the steps, and he came in and said, look, you don't need to worry, you don't need to change anything, I've heard what Mum's just, what you've just told Mum, you don't need to worry about anything basically. So very, very easy, I guess, coming out compared to others that we see. And then Bradley was giving Coulson a manicure, kind of chopping his fingernails, basically saying you've got really weird fingers, because for some reason either the tweezers weren't working or the fingers weren't fingering. And yeah, he said maybe it's the clippers because he couldn't trim his own earlier as well. Fern also spoke to Nikita, and she basically discussed about him, obviously being a little boy, and obviously what it was like for him being younger. And he said he loves Ukraine, and obviously when he was younger he had his family, his friends, his dancing, things like that, and he managed to finally move his family into a house, and he's the first person in his family to actually buy something, so he's obviously very proud of himself, and he's very happy that he can actually help his family out basically. Big Brother made an announcement, and he basically just said that obviously the time for the housemates to be in the house is almost up, with Bradley going, your time is up, that means there's some sort of eviction. And Big Brother explained that each of the housemates were going to go to the rendezvous, which basically is just to go and meet somebody, and obviously we didn't really get much information, but it was, I'm guessing at this point they all kind of realised it was going to be a family friend, some lover or whatever. And Coulson said, yeah, that's basically what that means, is it's when you go off to meet someone, wondering whether she's taken a day off work, i.e. talking about his girlfriend. And then Louis said to Fern that it could be one of her daughters or her daughter. So, up first we had David. So it basically was just a garden full of trees and a bench, and all of the other housemates in the house could actually see the rendezvous sessions going on. So obviously David didn't know that at this point, and neither did the housemates until they started seeing the visuals, and he basically just said, I'm shaking, I feel sick. The little sounds of the birds went off, and it was actually David's best mate Troy, so he basically said, you're smashing it. David screamed in excitement, and they were basically having a nice little cuddle, a nice little catch up. He said, we're so proud of you, we watch the live stream every night, and yeah, the birds are calling, so we've got to go. With Nikita saying, oh, this is great. David asked the other housemates if they were watching it, and it was so good, and Fern said, what a nice friend, he looks so lovely. So up next was Louis, so he went to the rendezvous, and the person that came to meet him was Sunita. So she said, how are you? And she basically said to him, look, you're doing great, but are you not able to pick up a broom? And everyone else has been nice in there apart from you, with Louis just saying to her, you look great. She said that she's laughed so much, but she knows that that's obviously the real Louis. And Bradley said, yeah, I think she was joking, with Nikita saying he finally wanted Louis to have something nice in the house. And then she actually managed to give him a top from a song that she made several years ago, with Louis saying it was a Toy Boy top. She's funny, and obviously he knows that she's been watching the show. And then Coulson said to Louis, I was praying for it to be Jedward, and Louis just said, no, absolutely not, like, stop it. Up next was Coulson, so he obviously saw his mum, and she basically, he wasn't really sure if it was going to be the girlfriend or his mum, but it was his mum, and she said, you're amazing, we're so proud of you, I love you so much. I'm ready for you to come home, with Coulson saying, I hope I haven't cried too much on TV. And then David said, "Mummy Smith," with Fern going, "She's so proud of you." And Coulson basically explained that the houseplants are still alive and Taylor, who I believe is his girlfriend, is doing great. Up next was Fern. One of her daughters came in, I think her name was Lauren, and she said, "I'm so proud of you, Mum, you've done so well. The cats are okay. Maxwell, I think one of the cats, is getting into lots of fights." And Fern said, "Have I embarrassed myself yet?" And she said, "No, no, no." And she said, "Even if you don't win, you've done amazing," with David saying about her daughter that she is gorgeous. Up next was Nikita. He basically was sitting there on the bench saying, "I'm really nervous," with Bradley saying that he seems to be crying already. And he had an emotional reuniting with his girlfriend. No, sorry. Fern's daughter is not called Lauren. Nikita's girlfriend is called Lauren. So let's just get that right. Lauren said that they're so proud of her, him, and Nan's sister. Everyone else is absolutely fine. And they're already starting to take lemons off the trees to make limoncello when he gets home. Bradley said it looked like he was in a Disney movie, with Davey adding that she's gorgeous. And Coulson said that they might get a proper party tonight, because obviously just before the final. And then he also looked at Bradley and said, "How are we going to know if it's Scott?" Because obviously Brad hadn't had his rendezvous yet, and Bradley just basically said he's got curly hair. So Bradley went out to the rendezvous, sit on the bench, waiting for the birds, and there was no birds. So AJ's walked in, and she basically just looked at him and said, "Are you surprised to see me?" And she basically said that obviously you can see there's no friend or family member here for you. And that basically just meant that the next housemate evicted from the house was Bradley. So the other housemates here were a little bit in shock. I would say Bradley was also a bit in shock. And he basically just said, "I've had so much fun, I'm proud of everyone in there, I'm grateful and I'm happy." And then he also asked if he could just have a hug, just to kind of, you know, make himself feel a bit better, to kind of console himself. And she said, "Look, you've been evicted from the show, go to the house, say your goodbyes to everyone, and then leave out of the diary room." So yeah, Bradley was the final person to be evicted from the house, and then you had your final 5. So Nikita said, "You're kidding me." Fern said, "This is terrible, this is horrible." And then Bradley said to everyone, he had the best time, he's enjoyed himself, he's proud of himself, and also as he left through the diary room, he asked the others to pack his bag as well. He said he's had the best time and he's so grateful. Celebrity Big Brother said, "Thank you for being an amazing housemate." And then obviously the other housemates were there talking with Nikita, saying what the hell just happened. Coulson asking David if he was okay, with him saying that it was awful and it's a cruel game. Coulson obviously noticed in the bedroom that Bradley left his little frog. And David said to Fern he didn't expect that at all, but he's so excited for what I guess is to come into the future for Bradley. Fern added that he's all that he's been through and how he's managed to actually get through everything. With David saying that that's 3 people that have been evicted in less than 24 hours, 3 big personalities, so the house is obviously not going to be the same. Nikita came to the diary room saying that he's went from having lots of happy tears to being so shocked, and obviously being then sad for Bradley, that he's coped so well. He obviously has lots of thoughts per second. He was such a joyous person with lots of energy and so nice. He did say though it was nice to see his girlfriend had been separated for so long. And at 9:20 PM, Celebrity Big Brother gathered the housemates saying that you are the Celebrity Big Brother finalists, with David saying well done, coming to the diary room saying I'm in the finals baby. Fern in the diary room said that she was so proud of herself. Coulson in the diary room said he couldn't believe it, he was shocked. Louis in the diary room saying it was the most unusual 3 weeks of his life and it's been crazy. And then Nikita came to the diary room saying he never imagined to be in this position. They all had a little song to I Wanna Dance With Somebody by Whitney in the background. And David in the diary room said, "I've done everything there's needed to be done in Big Brother history. The only other thing I need to now do is win." So that was a very touching moment, I guess. And it was a very that's true actually, you do need to win. So let's see what happens in Friday's episode, which I will have already probably filmed by this point. But yeah, as of now, the final 5 are Coulson, Fern, David, Louis and Nikita. No more Bradley, unfortunately. I'm actually quite sad to see him go because he was really, really nice. But I guess the other 5 had a slightly bigger personality or maybe a bigger following. That's kind of how I saw it. So if you did enjoy my review, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Send some love down below for Bradley for almost making it to the final and just for being an amazing housemate. So until my next review, thank you for watching and goodbye.